Well, thank you everyone who watched my previous video on the Thermic 18. I now have the Thermic 20 built, but have not flown it. I was kind of amazed at how many views I had. Even one of the guys that I have breakfast with, Charlie, was asking when the next video would come out. Well, I'm going to talk about my interest in engineering and model airplanes in this video. The main reason for my interest in model aviation is because of my interest in engineering. My father had an amazing talent for taking ideas and building working machines. He was a self-taught inventor holding several patents on farm machinery, and he manufactured the machinery and received royalty payments from other companies manufacturing his ideas. He was ahead of his time in that he was using steel framework in farm machinery while others were still using wood. My father had an interest in aviation and had thoughts of buying a full-scale airplane, but he never did. He did, however, build me an airplane tricycle. Maybe he planted the seed for my interest in model aviation. Most people in the model airplane hobby limit themselves to one or two major types of airplanes: free flight, control line, or RC, but I fly all three. Most recently I have devoted much of my effort to free flight model airplanes, as I find it most challenging to build and fly with no control from the ground at all. There are a huge variety of types of free flight model airplanes, and I fly many of them, again because I like the variety and the different challenges they present. Free flight in a large part is about competition, which I think is a good thing because it pushes the need for greater innovation. Myself at this point, I'm more about learning skills to get consistent flights of my models. Even though free flight is so much about competition, everyone is more than happy to help you. My start in free flight competition was an indoor free flight, as I had a local mentor in Floyd Richards, who was a former engineer. He was such a detail-oriented person and such a perfectionist. If only a little of this rubbed off on me, that was a great thing. What I learned about adjusting the slow-moving indoor free flight models was a great help too to outdoor free flight, but the challenges of adjusting fast-climbing outdoor model are different too. Free flight is really frustrating too, as models that are not adjusted close to perfect can crash. I thought I would avoid this in that I was installing RDT systems in airplanes. Problem with that is unless the wing is really built strong and the plane is slowed down, activating the DT will overstress the wing and break it. This has happened to me a couple of times. What free flight adjusting teaches you is that you proceed with the adjusting process in tiny little steps and learn to recognize when the airplane might be heading for trouble before it actually does. Even if you build a free flight model from a kit, there is much to experiment with. For example, the Eureka E36 model has been covered 3 different times with 3 different covering materials. Originally with Isaki tissue, which is rigid when dry, but becomes saggy with moisture. Next, Polyspan Light, which doesn't sag but rips easily. And finally, Ultracoat Light, which appears to be the best alternative so far.